The idea of coddling for parents in the older generation is dependent on their experiences and what things they had to be protected by, and then how those limits look like and how they passed on to us. Because there are times where my mom is like saying certain things to me about going out, and I don't know what she's talking about or why she fears those things, but for me it's easy to disagree with it because...
And so I don't think there's anything necessarily like notable about this generation necessarily being more coddled than like...
I think I realized that my issues here are so minor.
Yeah.
And I think it made me approach like everyday life a lot simpler because really anything that I'm dealing with as a student in America, people are facing a lot harsher realities.
When they get like irritated by people being coddled, it just doesn't really make sense to me because you're the ones coddling them.
I kind of wanted to like add my own experiences because I was raised by an immigrant mother who like fled her home place, and the idea of like coddling and how it's led to so many fights, no, not physical fights, but like arguments in my own household because of it. And I think one thing I noticed among just hearing everyone else talk was that like the idea of coddling for parents in the older generation is dependent on their experiences and what things they had to be protected by, and then how those limits look like and how they passed on to us. Because there are times where my mom is like saying certain things to me about going out, and I don't know what she's talking about or why she fears those things, but for me it's easy to disagree with it because kind of like what he was saying before, like I can test those statements, I could research if this is truly the case, and when I see that it's not, I disagree with her, and then she refers to her past and her experiences of having to flee her country and the things she saw. So
where are you from? Where's your mom
Kurdistan.
from? In Kurdistan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which part of
Dahuk, like northern Iraq.
Oh, Dahuk. Okay, northern Iraq. Yeah. Oh, totally. So she gets here.
Yeah.
And then you hear. Wait, when she got here? Did she? Everything she heard about the U.S. probably was guns and violence.
Yeah. Like if I told her I wanted to go out at night, she would flip a table. She'd go crazy, and I'd have to debate her on why it's not that serious. Or then she would refer to how it was in Kurdistan and the things she saw here when she saw the news outlets and all of those things.
So this is one of the issues, right? We bring our culture with us wherever we go, and we can't. It's not possible to not see through that lens.
Or like separate it and realize it's not the same here.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, like you come here. My friends in Afghanistan. I have a colleague from Afghanistan who, my friend, when he came here for the first time, even in the middle of the violence and the war, his friends and family were so afraid for him because he's coming to the United States. I'm like, bro, you're coming from Afghanistan. My friend, another friend who you will meet in a couple weeks from Mosul, Iraq. Same thing. Every time he come to the United States, people say, "Oh, make sure, be careful. You're going to the U.S." I'm like, and he's like, "Man, I'm from Mosul. I'm coming from Iraq." So yeah. But you learn, right? You learn, and then you resisted. You were saying, "I'm not going to go for that."
And again, that's why I was referring to the access of information, because for my mom, she wasn't over here researching these things. She was trying to escape war. So for me, it's like I can just go on Google and actually test those theories and come up with a better judgment than she had because of her experiences growing up.
Yeah. So it's like the kidnapping. It's like how many times do you take an airplane ride and someone says, "Hey, be safe. Have a safe trip. I hope you're safe." And how many times do you take a car ride and people say that? Yeah, I'm going to hop in my car and I'm going to go down to the store. Most tragic accidents happen within a mile of our homes because that's mostly where we drive, and it's mostly where we drive without thinking. Nobody ever says that. Like, hey, you're going to the store. Hey, be safe, be careful. But you go on an airplane to the other side of the world, and it's that. It's not knowing the numbers.
There's always this like, I don't know how to say, like jealousy of like older generations, like, oh, well, I had it so much harder and you guys are being coddled and like stuff. But like there's a long history of every older generation saying that about the younger generation. And so I don't think there's anything necessarily like notable about this generation necessarily being more coddled than like oh, well, I fought in a war and like there hasn't been a war at least.
So,
recently here.
okay, here, listen, let me say this though. People think that you're American, right?
Yeah.
People think you're soft.
I mean, I'm kind of soft. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yeah, but well, lots of people have always been soft. But like, how soft are you compared to? I mean, think of your friends. Think about like, wait, hang on. What do you mean you're soft?
I think it depends on your personal experience. Like, I know that when growing up, like I was sheltered from a ton of stuff, and like I didn't have anything happening in my life that would necessarily like be dangerous. I mean, I'm from like Western Pennsylvania, and like there's not a whole lot going on
So
there.
when you hear them talking, Simon and Kiana, when you hear them talking about their experiences, do you say to this part of you say to yourself, or this guy about, well, were you born in Curtis? You were born here. When you hear them talking, do you feel like, oh, I missed out? Maybe I missed out on something.
I think it's good to be safe and good to like, I don't know. I don't see value in necessarily suffering throughout your life. I think you can build character other ways. I think there's,
Okay.
I mean, I don't see it as a positive to like have to deal with a lot of those things.
Dude, so she is soft.
I didn't claim I wasn't soft.
Yeah.
I'm definitely soft.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I hear that. Yeah. No, it's a thing now, right? This is a thing. And have you heard this before, that you're a soft generation?
Many times, especially from some of my relatives, but like the older relatives.
Yeah. And let me just tell you this. They didn't have it that rough. Okay?
Probably not.
Probably not. Most people don't have it that rough. As we get older, we tend to overestimate the challenges we had in our lives, just like we overestimate how smart we were when we were the age of most of you in the classroom. Because you get to my age and you forget that, that you were really not that intelligent and not that smart, and you were just trying to figure things out. So when people ask you questions, like I'm asking these four lovely people questions, we have the ideas like, oh, I would have answered it this way. And like, no, you wouldn't have. You would not have. Yeah, you were not that smart. Yeah.
I wanted to give my experience of like being coddled because it kind of relates to a guy from Lebanon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like born and raised American. But when I was in high school, I did a semester in Israel, proudly Jewish. And when I was there, I was in and out of bomb shelters. I'm someone who's always lived in America. It was a very surreal experience to me.
Yeah.
We went down to the border between the Gaza Strip and Israel one time to fall. There were a lot of experiences with that, and I think when they're like coddling me in that experience,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that really changed my perspective, because I can think I was very coddled growing up by my parents and my family, and I always kind of lived safe America is what I would say, and then when I went to Israel, very different experience, and I think that made me a lot tougher on the outside.
Yeah. Everybody says that. American Jews say that when they go to Israel, especially those who are of your age. And I never really understood that, although I have been in, again, I traveled lots and lots of places that most people wouldn't travel. But when I went to Israel the first time, I felt that. I was like, whoa. And then I could feel a certain brusqueness from people, like harshness, kind of like something. And I'm like, I didn't understand what it was. And then I'm like, okay, I get that.
Everyone is just a lot like tougher. And I think going there and having those experiences made me a lot tougher. I came back to America, and it kind of made me realize like how coddled I was being American.
Yep. And is that a good thing for you?
I think it is a good thing. Yeah.
How so? Like, how did you grow?
By going there?
No, by realizing that you were kind of coddled and taken care of and overprotected.
I think I realized that my issues here are so minor.
Yeah.
And I think it made me approach like everyday life a lot simpler, because really anything that I'm dealing with as a student in America, people are facing a lot harsher realities in Israel, or just other Jewish people don't have the same experiences that I do here.
Yeah. Yep. We were we had a project in both the West Bank. So did you go to the West Bank when you were there?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so and then we also had a project in Gaza, and so we worked in Gaza for about 4 years, and all of our colleagues in Gaza very very similar. I mean, this is one way in which Jews and Palestinians, they share a common something. I don't know what it is, but it's a very similar thing, and and the use you get.
For me, I can't really understand why there's something like so much wrong with being coddled. Like for me, if I have children, I want them to live a better life than I have. And I feel like I want them to live a life that's easier than what I lived. So I feel like when they get like irritated by people being coddled, it just doesn't really make sense to me because you're the ones coddling them.
Right. Right. The adults are the ones doing the coddling. So when we look at all of you and we point fingers and be like, oh my God, you're so soft, right? Y'all are so soft. It's like, well, we made you soft. Well, come on, man. What's the problem? If you're soft, it's because we did it. Yeah, that's interesting.
I think that like sometimes when like people like try to do things to like make things safer, right? Like that you can, that like some of the things that like make things practically safer, if you're making it practically safer from a danger that's like not really present, right? You're just creating a bunch of anxiety, right? Like that, like
totally,
like that an airport's a really safe place to be, and like only one, it hasn't been dangerous, but like the fact that you have like militarized looking police around an airport all the time makes an airport feel like a scary place and dangerous.
That's the nature of it, man. That's what it is. Like we create that certain anxiety, and then, hey, so first off, listen, thanks for volunteering. Can we have a round of applause? Thank you.